Hi everyone, we are excited to announce Motion Tools Pro Update, a special tool that makes working in Adobe After Effects faster and more enjoyable. It's your personal command center where all your favorite tools are just one click away. Open After Effects and navigate to the window menu. Under Extensions, you'll find your new toolkit Motion Tools Pro. The extension provides 4 customizable panels that you can open and arrange in your workspace. Each panel works as a unique command center for your tools. You might set up one for animation tasks, another for project organization, and others for your favorite scripts or expressions. You can open several at once. Notice how each one displays its own unique set of tools, giving you a customized workspace. Let's look inside one of these panels. This grid holds your tools. We call them cells. Each cell is usually a button that does something when clicked, so you get result as fast as possible. At the top, you'll find a layout selector. This menu expands to show all your saved layouts when clicked. Watch how the entire panel transforms when you select a different layout. Also from here, you can search for specific layout and create new one. Next to it, look for a pencil icon. This is the Edit Layout button. When you click it, you enter the edit mode. This is where you can reshape your workspace. There's also a gear icon. This button opens the main settings panel. This is where you control everything behind the scenes. Right-click on the panel background to open Fast Link to the settings and Special Code Editor. Right-click on a specific cell to see tool-specific options appear. For setting the app license, you can use hamburger icon. Clicking it reveals a drop-down menu where you will find access to About Information, License Manager, and Connect to Support. Your grid can hold different kinds of tools, each with its own visual style. Script cells are the most common. They usually appear as clean, simple buttons with icons or text. Click them and watch as they trigger actions in After Effects. Many script cells have hidden powers. Try holding Alt or Option on Mac, Shift or Ctrl while clicking for different options. Each action can be found in the tooltips and script descriptions. For example, the Add Null script creates a null object and parents all selected layers to it. Holding the Shift key creates a null for each selected layer. We tried to make the simple scripts as fast and flexible as possible so you can use them in different ways. Widget cells look more complex than simple buttons. They showcase compact interfaces with interactive elements. You might see sliders that respond to your mouse movements, color pickers that display vibrant spectrums, or text fields ready for your input. Widgets bundle related functionality into one convenient package. They also have hidden powers. For example, we can change the easings of selected keyframes by moving sliders. Holding the Alt key will shake both the in and out influence symmetrically, making more complex motion faster. A layout is simply a saved arrangement of your panel grid. Adding tools is simple. Find an empty cell in the grid. As you move your mouse over it, notice how a plus button appears. Click it and observe a menu unfold with all your available tools displayed as a scrollable gallery. Select one to add it to the cell. You can add a script only once to the layout. If a script or widget is already added in the currently opened layout, that cell will be disabled. If you need to focus on a specific type of tools, we have filters for that. Once you have tools in place, you can arrange them. Click the Edit Layout button, and notice how the panel shifts into edit mode with a subtle visual change. Move your mouse over a tool you want to adjust. To resize, grab the corner handle. To move it, grab near the top and see it lift slightly as you drag it to a new location. Delete a tool by clicking the X icon. When you're done arranging, click the Edit Layout button again. Widgets are also responsive. Their design can change depending on the size of the cell they occupy, making efficient use of your panel space. Some widgets have hidden functionality at different sizes, but we will talk about it in the next tutorial. Here's a quick tip. Hold down Control-Alt-Shift or Command-Option-Shift on Mac and move your mouse over any tool. Notice how just that one tool's edit controls appear. Make your change and let go of the keys to see the controls disappear instantly. The main settings panel is your control center for deep customization. Access it by clicking the gear icon in any tool panel or through the right-click context menu. This panel is organized into main sections for managing content, like scripts and expressions, layouts, and overall application settings. The Content Settings view helps you manage your tools collection. On the left, categories are arranged in a tree structure, including basic, user-created, and installed sections. Below these categories, you'll find selectors to choose which panel and specific layout you're configuring content for. The right side displays your tools settings based on what you select. If nothing is selected, the right side will show the scripts gallery, which can be turned on by clicking the first button in the top left corner. Here, you will quickly see icons and descriptions for all scripts and widgets. You can search among them and apply filters. Click on the desired tool to open the settings form. One additional feature is the scripts drop zone. You can drop JSX or JSXBin files for fast access to scripts. For example, we have some scripts with interfaces. Let's move the file onto the drop zone. Once done, the script will appear in the Execute Scripts section. This is just a link to the specific file on your computer. Next, you can add the script from the library to the selected layout to make it possible to open it from the main panel. The second tab is the Expressions gallery, where you manage After Effects expressions. At the top, you'll find buttons for creating new expressions, importing and exporting your collection, filtering by category, searching text, or showing only favorites. The Author Collections toggle reveals expression packs from trusted creators that can expand your toolset. For now, they are not available. We will add them soon. Each expression card displays its name and description. You can preview the code, mark favorites, copy to the clipboard, add to the library, or apply directly to selected properties in After Effects. After adding an expression to the library, you will find it in the user-based categories, from where you can add it to any layout and style it. Creating a new expression is straightforward. You simply name it, add a description, select a category, add tags for easier searching, and write your expression code in the editor. When you select a specific tool that has been added to the layout, its setup form appears with various settings, including name, styling options, and description details. For scripts and widgets, you can see a live preview that updates in real time as you make changes. You can also click the preview to test functionality without needing to add it to the layout. The styling section controls your tool's visual appearance. Here you can set backgrounds with colors or gradients, choose icons from your computer, set text colors, and toggle whether to show names or icons. For widgets, you'll find additional controls for elements like slider or button styles. If a tool is not added to the layout, you won't see its styles because styling is applied to the layout itself, not to the tool. At the bottom of the form are several important action buttons. The Save button updates the base settings of your tool. Add to Layout places it in your panel with current styling. Reset reverts layout-specific styling to default, helpful when you've made unwanted changes. After making changes, don't forget to press the Save button to save your changes. Motion Tools Pro isn't limited to pre-built tools. You can create your own custom expressions and scripts to expand your toolkit and solve specific workflow challenges. The extension makes it easy to save and organize these custom tools. For repetitive tasks, create expressions and apply them to the selected properties with a single click. For specialized workflows, write scripts that automate multiple steps at once. When creating or editing these custom tools, the interface offers a tabbed layout for better clarity and organization. The Editor tab always provides a code editor with syntax highlighting for easier reading. For both the scripts and expressions editor, we provide autocomplete for built-in functions. Additionally, like any modern code editor, you can press Ctrl-D to multi-select the same word or expression and edit them simultaneously. You can find all additional features in the documentation. However, its capabilities differ slightly depending on what you're editing. For scripts, you can write extend script code directly or link to an external file on your computer. The link file option is particularly useful for complex scripts, allowing you to execute external files instead of embedded code. For expressions, you still get the code editor for writing After Effects expressions, but with additional powerful tools. The import button allows you to import expressions from selected properties into the active expression editor. You can toggle the Live Update button to see your expression changes reflected in After Effects almost instantly. To use this feature, simply select the needed property or multiple properties, make changes in the code editor, and wait briefly. Next to it, you can adjust the update frequency in seconds using plus and minus buttons, ensuring updates happen at a comfortable speed with a minimum of 1 second. The Sync button enables linking. Linking means you don't need to select properties repeatedly to apply expression changes. To use this, press the Import button for one or multiple properties. When active, with Live Update enabled, changes apply automatically. A counter next to the Sync button shows how many properties are currently linked. Clicking it opens a menu to manage these linked properties. In this additional menu, you can also remove linked properties or disable live updates for selected properties. If you need to add more properties, select them and press Import again. They will be added to the list of linked properties and updated automatically if Live Update is enabled. Further controls include the Pick button, which uses a grab icon to get the property path from the selected property and paste it into the expression editor. Finally, the Apply button sends the expression currently in the editor to your selected properties manually. This is similar to the Execute button, but it will be very useful in Expand mode, which can be activated by clicking in the top right corner to show the code editor in full screen. The Styling tab controls your tool's visual appearance similar to the built-in tools. The Info tab is where you define your tool's identity. The Display Name field sets what appears on the cell in your grid, which can differ from the internal script name for clearer labeling. The Description field provides space for notes about functionality, while the Help tip creates tool tips that appear when hovering over the cell in the main panel. And the last feature, if the expression has a mistake, the interface will show a tooltip with the error that indicates the exact line containing the mistake. In the top left corner, the third tab is App Settings. In the Settings view, find Layouts on the left side to access Layout Management. The Create New Layout button starts you with a fresh grid ready for customization. Duplicate Layout creates an exact copy of an existing layout, extremely useful when making variations without risking changes to your original design. Additional options include Reset Layout, which restores settings to their defaults, and Import-Export functionality that enables saving layouts to a file for backup or sharing purposes. Once a layout is selected, you can customize its appearance in detail. Rename your layout and select an icon that appears in the drop-down menu. Set the panel background to match After Effects' default look, or choose custom colors, gradients, or images. Control cell size by setting width and height in pixels, and adjust spacing between cells for your preferred density. Cell background and border settings define the default appearance for all cells in this layout. The Hide Title toggle can show or hide the panel's top bar for a more compact look. You can also set the default icon size for this specific layout. The Add Button option allows you to disable the Add button in the cell if it becomes distracting. You can still add scripts to the layout from the script library. After making changes, click Update Layout to save them for this layout. You can also save your style to a file for reuse, load from a saved file, or reset to defaults if needed. The settings view includes important sections for overall extension configuration. The panel settings section lets you choose which layout loads by default for each panel when After Effects starts, creating a consistent workspace each time you begin working. In App Settings, you can set a custom path for extension files, open the config folder to access files directly, or reset all settings to default values if needed. We've packed in a variety of tools that solve common workflow problems with just one click. Easy Keyframes is an interactive widget that gives you precise control over keyframe easing. It features 3 main sliders, 2 for ease and out influence, and 1 to control them symmetrically. As you adjust the sliders from 0 to 100, the easing is applied to your selected keyframes in real time. There are helpful modifier keys when dragging the sliders. Hold Shift to snap the value to increments of 10. Hold Ctrl or Command on Mac for fine-tuning adjustments. Hold Alt while dragging the Ease In or Ease Out slider to symmetrically adjust the opposite slider, making the motion smooth and balanced. If you need more precise control, you can use the Input field to set the value directly. Arrow keys can be used to increase or decrease the value by 1. Holding Shift while using arrow keys will increase or decrease the value by 10. Beside the sliders, you'll find icons. Clicking the icons next to each slider reapplies that specific influence value. There are also icons to instantly apply specific interpolation types: linear, the diamond; hold, the square; or autosphazier, the circle. Like all widgets, it features a responsive design that adjusts control elements for different sizes, both horizontal and vertical. To resize a widget, you can either enable Edit Mode from the top left corner, or hold Ctrl-Alt-Shift while hovering over the widget and drag the bottom right corner. We also have a great Easings companion widget that helps you visualize the easing curve. Press the Add button on an empty cell and find the Visualize Easings widget. Increase the widget size by holding Ctrl-Alt-Shift and dragging the widget. It displays the speed and value graph of the easing currently being applied or previewed, reflecting the adjustments made in the Easy Keyframes widget. We can enhance its integration with other scripts in the future. This helps you instantly see the shape of your animation curve without needing to open the graph editor. Easings Manager is a handy widget that acts like a smart clipboard just for your keyframe easing settings. Select the keyframes on a property you need to copy, then click the Copy button in the widget. It captures the complete easing data: temporal and spatial ease, influence, speed, and Bezier handles. The widget will show you how many keys it copied. Next, select the same number of keyframes on another property where you want this style. Clicking the Paste button applies just the easing, leaving the target keyframes values untouched. If you want to paste both the easing and the values, hold the Alt key while clicking Paste. To paste only the values from the source while keeping the target's original easing, hold Shift while clicking Paste. Easings Manager goes further by letting you save your favorite easings as presets. For this, extend the widget size vertically. Select any 2 keys and click the plus button to save it as a new preset. You can save multiple presets. To apply a saved preset later, simply click its preview graph. Need to delete a preset you no longer use? Hold Alt while clicking its preview. Want a closer look or need to fine-tune a saved preset? Hold Shift while clicking its preview graph. This opens a detailed view where you can directly edit the easing curve. This preset system is great for keeping your go-to animation styles consistent and quickly accessible. Clone helps you duplicate keyframes while preserving all their properties. including temporal and spatial interpolation, roving status, and Bezier handles. It works with any keyframed property, including 2D and 3D spatial ones and roto-Bezier masks. Select your keyframes, move the playhead to where you want the copy, and click. It keeps everything, including relative timing. Hold Alt to keep both the original and new keys selected for further adjustments. Hold Shift to create a reversed sequence, flipping interpolation, perfect for bouncing animations or pendulum swings. Additionally, our functionality allows cloning keyframes from multiple layers simultaneously, a feature that only became natively available in After Effects, starting with the 2024 version. The 2024 version also introduced the ability to paste keys in reverse order. As a result, this functionality from Motion Tools Pro may become deprecated in the future. Choose whichever method works best for your workflow. Sequencer is a minimalistic but powerful widget for creating complex timing patterns across multiple selected layers or keyframes. At its heart are two essential controls. The num value determines frame offset between items, while step controls how many elements move together as a group. For instance, a num of 5 and step of 1 means each item starts 5 frames after the previous one. A num of 5 and step of 3 means groups of 3 items start together, with each group starting 5 frames after the previous group. Below these inputs are icon buttons representing the different sequencing modes. The Align mode shifts all selected items to start at the current playhead position while preserving their relative timing to each other. Downward mode creates a cascading animation where each item or step group starts sequentially after the previous one, based on the num offset. Upward mode works similarly but sequences items in reverse order. Finally, random mode applies randomized timing offsets to each item, where the num value sets the maximum random offset in frames. These controls allow you to quickly apply sophisticated timing adjustments to layers or keyframes. You may know the issue when we need to change the frame rate of a composition where all animation was created. It breaks animation smoothness and causes problems. Fix Key Time aligns keyframes precisely to frame boundaries, cleaning up keys that might fall between frames. This ensures smoother playback. It preserves all keyframe properties and interpolation. You can run it on selected keys, selected layers, the current composition, if nothing is selected, selected compositions, or the entire project, if no items are selected. Bake expressions is a vital tool when you need to finalize animations or improve performance by converting dynamic expressions into static keyframes. Select the layers you want to process. If no layers are selected, it will scan every layer in your active composition. Clicking the script finds all properties with active expressions on those layers and converts their calculated values into actual keyframes, frame by frame. After baking, the original expression is automatically removed, leaving the animation purely keyframe-driven. For more precise control, hold the Alt key while clicking. This will bake the expressions only within the time range defined by your composition's work area. Loop in Out is your best friend for looping animations. It adds a special expression to create seamless loops before and after keyframes, preserving timing and handling complex animations, even paths. The default cycle mode creates perfect repeats. Hold Alt for ping-pong mode, back and forth movement. Use Control for offset mode, which continues the motion's velocity beyond the keys. Or hold Shift for continue mode, which extends the animation linearly based on the last keyframe's velocity. For path animations, we use a special expression that has only two modes, cycle and ping-pong. It also loops animations before and after keyframes. No more manual keyframe duplication for repetitive animations. Bounce script adds a physical bounce effect to your keyframed animations. Select the properties you want to affect and run the script. It applies an expression and creates effect controls on the layer or on a separate control null for elasticity, gravity, and the maximum number of bounces. Adjust these sliders to control how much the property bounces after reaching each keyframe. There's also an in-out toggle to change the direction of the bounce. Elastic creates an overshoot and settle effect, like a stretchy spring following your keyframes. Similar to bounce, select your properties and run the script. It adds an expression and effect controls for amplitude, how far it overshoots, frequency, how fast it oscillates, and decay, how quickly the oscillation fades. This version is generally preferred as it handles interactions between closely spaced keyframes more smoothly, providing a more natural elastic feel compared to the legacy version. In the library, we have an older version of the elastic expression if you used it before and prefer it. While functional, it might produce less smooth results than the standard elastic script, especially when keyframes are close together because it handles each keyframe's elastic reaction independently, causing less smooth transitions between them. One of the fundamental scripts for rigging. Add Null creates parent nulls for your layers. Simply select some layers and click. It creates one null at their average position, preserving parent chains and matching layer in-out points. It even has special logic for handling puppet pins, creating controller nulls and linking them via expressions. This functionality is available natively starting from the 2025 version. If you hold Shift, it creates a separate null for each selected layer, matching their individual positions. It works with locked layers and preserves your selection and layer order. If you prefer a classic null object without centering its position, hold the Alt key while clicking. This option will be useful if you plan to use expressions without adjusting the anchor point values. Additionally, when creating a null for other nulls, it will create a special null with a different color, called a primary null. CropComp is incredibly useful when working with precompositions. It automatically adjusts pre-comp dimensions to fit only the visible content, using opacity sampling to find the bounds. Select your pre-comp layers and click. Your composition gets resized to remove unnecessary space, and internal layers are repositioned correctly. Hold Alt to crop each selected pre-comp independently to its own bounds. Note that it only works on pre-comps, not regular layers. It works slower compared to more advanced plugins, but it is quite precise and gets the job done. Un-PreComp does the opposite. It extracts nested layers from a pre-comp and brings them into your main composition while preserving animations, effects, masks, track mats, and parent-child relationships. It even attempts to update expressions referencing the old structure. When you need to make changes without constantly diving into pre-comps, this tool saves tremendous time. By default, it deletes the original layer, but if you hold the Alt key, it will save it, just disabled. Comp Duplicator creates intelligent copies of your compositions. It duplicates the selected composition, including nested compositions up to 100 levels deep, and handles all internal expressions by fixing composition name references to maintain functionality. It preserves layer hierarchy, timing, and even proxy settings. By default, it duplicates nested compositions at the same level in the project panel. Holding Alt key creates a new folder for the duplicates. As a bonus, if you select the composition layer, holding Shift key will replace the selected composition layer with the duplicate version. It intelligently avoids duplicating the same nested comp multiple times if it's used in several places. This simple one-click script that has a lot of processing under the hood. Extract shapes separate selected groups into individual layers. This makes them easier to animate separately while maintaining their transformations, parent relationships, effects, and expressions. On the flip side, Merge Shapes combines multiple selected shape layers into a single layer, preserving all shape attributes, timing, and animation. You can optionally save and disable the source layers after merging by holding the Alt key. Shapes from Vector quickly convert selected Illustrator or PDF layers into native shape layers, preserving vector attributes and hierarchy. Just select your vector layers and click. Hold Alt to automatically remove the original vector layers after conversion. Hold Shift to run the Remove Artboards function immediately after, cleaning up unnecessary group structures often created during import. If you need just the Remove Artboards functionality, we have a separate script for that. Move Anchor Point gives you precise control for anchor point adjustments on any layer type. It offers a 9-point positioning system. Hold Alt to work with individual shape groups inside a shape layer instead of the whole layer anchor point. It preserves parenting, expressions, and animation. The main difference from the native Move Anchor Point tool is that it preserves the layer's visual position when moving the anchor point. This ensures that all your animations will remain intact after adjusting the anchor point. Toggle Stroke Style quickly changes the appearance of shape layer strokes across multiple selected layers or groups. Click it to cycle through different line cap styles, butt, round, projecting, and line join types, miter, round, bevel. This is super handy for quickly adjusting the look of your vector lines without digging through properties. Modifier keys like Alt, butt, miter, Shift, round, round, and Ctrl, projecting, bevel, let you directly set specific styles. Collect Color Script extracts colors from your shape fills and strokes, text, layer styles, effects, and creates a central controller null with color controls linked via expressions. It scans selected layers, handles nested comps. By default, it works in local mode, relative expressions within one composition. Holding the Alt key will switch to global mode, which creates absolute expressions across compositions. Collect Colors palette is a visual widget that acts as your interactive color library within After Effects. When the palette is empty, clicking the main area to automatically extract the unique colors from selected layers and add them as swatches to your active palette set. Once populated, the widget displays your colors as clickable swatches. Clicking a swatch instantly applies that color to any currently selected properties. A special button in the top right corner allows you to copy the hex color of the selected color to the clipboard. Managing the colors is easy. You can drag and drop swatches to reorder them visually. To remove a color you no longer need, simply hold Alt key and press the swatch. If you want to add more colors from your project, use the plus button. The X button clears all colors from the currently active set. The real power comes with palette sets. Click the settings icon to open the palette sets modal. Here you can create multiple named sets. You can activate any set, making it the one displayed and used by the main widget. Inside the modal, you can also rename, delete, import, or export your sets. Furthermore, you can fine-tune each color within a set using a built-in color picker or add new colors manually. This widget provides a fluid way to manage, share, and apply your color schemes directly within your workflow. Position Trace creates visual motion trails for layer movement. It generates a shape layer with an expression-driven path that automatically updates as the layer moves. It can follow both 2D and 3D layers. You can customize the trail's detail, length in frames, smoothness, and timing offset. You can dynamically change the layer that is being traced, though this may impact performance with high detail settings. This tool helps you to see actual layer position. That's impossible if layer have complex parenting structure. It will help you follow the arc principle and create more realistic animations. Nulls to point transforms shape path points into controllable nulls, or vice versa. In Nulls to Points mode, it creates nulls for each path point and parents the path vertices to them. Compared to native functionality, it also creates tangent handles that can be controlled individually and follow the parent point position. In reversed mode, activated by Alt-click, it creates controller nulls and links them to the path points. This allows you to animate the path manually and parent additional layers to the nulls. Slider to Path adds slider controls to animate objects along shape paths. Select a shape layer path or the whole layer and click the script. It creates a controller null whose position will follow the path, driven by a 0 to 100% slider on the null. In the effects panel, you can find the alternative points toggle mode, which changes the percentage slider to a point slider. Each number will switch the slider position to the corresponding point on the path. Holding Alt while clicking modifies this behavior. Instead of one null, it creates a predefined number of nulls distributed evenly along the path, all following the path and controlled by the slider. Rolling Shape automatically creates natural rolling animations for shapes. Select a shape layer with a path, run the script, and it applies an expression to the layer's position. To make it work, change the rotation value. This calculates the correct vertical offset based on the shape's height and the path's geometry, making the shape appear to roll realistically along the path. It works only with shape layers containing a valid path. An additional advantage is that the path can be animated as well. However, there is one crucial limitation. Rolling only works on a narrow surface. Create Limb builds shape limbs with IK rig-like behavior using path expressions. It creates a complete rig hierarchy with start, mid, and end controllers. Features include auto rotation, auto flip, length correction, midpoint offset, and visual style controls. This funny animal was created entirely using this script for its legs, body, and head, utilizing native shape modifiers and additional effects for styling. It even has a smart duplication system. Simply select one of the created limbs and click the script again to duplicate the limb with the same styling. While powerful, complex rigs can impact performance, and extreme poses may require manual tweaks. Selector is an interactive widget designed to help you quickly find and select specific properties within shape layers across multiple selected layers. Instead of digging through layer properties, it features icons for selecting all fill properties, stroke properties, or path properties recursively. Depending on the widget's size and your layout, the fill and stroke icons might be hidden in the most compact view. Use Alt when clicking the fill icon to potentially include stroke properties in the selection as well, and vice versa when clicking the stroke icon. This widget provides a simple interface to start creating optimized GIFs from your compositions. The main part of the widget is a button that shows the current status, like rendering or optimizing. Clicking this button initiates the process. Behind the scenes, the script chooses the best available After Effects output module preset, looking for presets like high quality with alpha or lossless with alpha, and handles output folder creation. It also checks if FFmpeg and GIFsicle are available. If they aren't found using default paths, it will prompt you to download and install them automatically, which is necessary for advanced optimization. In the Settings panel that you can access by right-clicking the widget or clicking the small settings icon, you can configure the detailed settings, like frame rate, width, color optimization, quality, specifying custom FFmpeg ifcycle paths, or choosing whether to automatically open the output folder upon completion. By the way, you can select multiple compositions and convert them at once. Remember to save your project first and ensure you have suitable GIF output module presets configured in After Effects for the script to use. Create Proxy generates proxy files for faster playback of selected complex compositions, optionally handling nested comps too. It intelligently organizes the render queue, rendering nested comps first, creates a proxy folder and automatically assigns the proxies once rendered. It preserves your original work area settings. To make it work as fast as possible, you need to complete a few steps. Create a special proxy preset in your project settings. It can be any format you like, but for the best experience, it's better to use a format with an enabled alpha channel like ProRes 4444. For best organization, it creates a proxy folder in the root of your project and places all proxies there. Your project should also have a root folder. If the composition is heavy, rendering could take a while. If After Effects appears frozen, don't worry. While the script is rendering, it may not show the progress. Take a cup of coffee and wait. Notes provides a simple, persistent scratchpad right within your panel. It's essentially a text area where you can jot down reminders, to-do lists, code snippets, or anything else you need to keep track. The text you type is automatically saved, so your notes will be there the next time you open After Effects. At the bottom right corner, you'll find a few handy controls. The plus and minus buttons allow you to cycle through different font sizes to suit your preference or the amount of text. The clean button quickly clears the entire text area, giving you a fresh start. We also use this widget for technical logging of our scripts. In some cases, when providing support, we may ask you to share your notes from here.